The next assignment in 3D design is looking at how to start doing animations. So we've made a lot of still scenes and even some dynamic ones with armatures and bones in the person. So now what about if we want to actually have it animate over time? So that's what this particular tutorial is all about. The general idea is that we're going to create a sphere and we're going to use something called a lattice that we're going to put around it. And we're going to parent the ball object to the lattice and have the lattice animate. And so the trick with this is really learning how to use keyframes. So in our particular thing, what I'm going to do is delete the cube, add a sphere, sure, a UV sphere. And the other thing I'm going to add is a lattice, which I'll obviously have to scale up. And what I do is I parent the sphere to the lattice. So make sure you select the sphere first, then the lattice, Control P to parent, and we're going to do a lattice deform. And the idea with this then is that if I move the lattice, notice that it moves the object with it. All right, let's take a look down here at this thing at the bottom. So this is actually your keyframes. So this is actually how the animation works. You're actually going to put in particular keyframes where the lattice is going to be. I'm going to go back to solid. So if I'm at the 11th keyframe or something, what I'll do is I'll move the lattice to where I want it to be and lock in that keyframe. And then I can put another spot along here and lock in another keyframe. And it actually smooths out the movement Blender does for you. So to begin with, let's start off at, so this is your current frame. This is the starting and ending frame that you're going to use. So what you can do is if you press I, you can lock in particular things. I'm going to use location, rotation, and scaling. So it's going to save off all of the various aspects of this particular thing. So that's locked in. Notice now that this yellow line is there. So you can ignore this make real, by the way, and a lot of these things are in different places, so watch out for that. Oh, we actually want frame 1. Oops. So here's an important thing. How do I take out a frame I've already put in? It turns out you actually can't do it in this run. What you have to do is go into the graph editor to delete a keyframe. So here, I'm actually going to have to select the frame and delete the frame. Delete keyframes. So I hit the delete key there. And now if I go back into the 3D view, notice that that frame is gone. So they actually want me to do frame 1. I'm going to lock in that particular one. What I'm then going to do is go to the next frame, number 11, and I can actually move this guy. Maybe I'll move him up there. And lock in that keyframe. They want to do a squish in the middle of this, so I think in the next frame I actually scale this differently. I'm going to go one more frame beyond that so I don't have to try and get it exactly to the same size. Lock this guy in and grab him so that he's back at the same point on the surface. Actually, where was that? So it's exactly in the middle. Okay. So if we go to our later frame, 23, and move this down in the z-axis, about there. Lock that guy in. Now if you want to see this actually happening, there's a shortcut to your animation which is Alt-A. Notice it's going through the whole thing, so actually let me pause this real quick and I'll make my frame only about 90 steps. There we go. So I did that little jump there. This is how you also preview particle effects, by the way. And then the only other thing that they want you to do is up at the very top, at this point here, they want you to squish it a little bit. Actually, I think what they do is they start high and go down and then squish it. Yeah, so it's the opposite of what I just did, but it's the same basic idea. All right, so then the next thing to deal with is what if I want to like copy and paste this or scale it up or down or something like that. It's no longer called the IPO curve. It's actually this graph editor. So you can alter things here. So what I can do is I can actually select all of these things and duplicate them. and then I can make another little bounce here without having to go through all that process again. And maybe I really want 3 bounces, so I can do that here. So now, if I go look at this, it goes up to about frame 71 it looks like, so I'm going to make my animation only that long. If I go preview it now, there we go. So that's the general idea for animation.